Hey Brad, need to discuss with you the sleeving, and forget this. This is not part of the sleeving. That just telling me they got a plug bore inside the faceplate here. What I'm running into is that some, but not all, of the sleeved slave cylinders do not clock correctly when I install them. So what happens is the bleed screw that ordinarily is up here is not clocked correctly, and the bleed screw is mostly for aesthetic purposes, but the customers get excited about it if it's not clocked correctly. So what I have found is that if I screw these things in, there's a gasket inside here that they seal up against, and what I've found, if I screw these in dry like this, and it doesn't go over this far, this is not going to orient correctly, and under no matter how much I crank on it. This one might if I really cranked on it, but no, that's the end of the travel right there. So this is not going to be oriented correctly. It won't be clocked correctly. People are going to get excited about that. So I found that if they end up at about this orientation, they are not going to clock correctly. And so what I've got here written down here, 90-degree left. This is basically comes out 90-degree left of where I want it to be. Now then, the ones I've marked 90 right, in fact this is an original one right here, and this is one that you guys sleeved. So if we screw this in, you finally go past vertical and over to 90 right and stop. And what that does is it allows this thing to butt down against the seal, this gasket inside here, and seal up against it. So it's going to come into contact with the seal, and I can dial it in to where I need to. So let's review. This is an original one, hasn't been sleeved or anything like that, and so it orients down like this, at least 90 from vertical to the right. This is one of yours that you did, 90 to the right. So that's going to be okay. I'm going to be able to use that one. Now then, what is very interesting is I don't know the difference to speak of between the 90 right and the 90 left, because if you put them up against each other like this, there's virtually no difference. And I just can't figure it out. So I thought I'd make this video and maybe you guys can figure it out. It looks like there might be, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch difference, 32nd of an inch difference in the length of the sleeve that's sticking out. So that's the issue I'm running up against. I'm going to have to send these back to you and see if you can figure it out. And for instance, well, here's one that hasn't been sleeved either, and this one. And of course, it's an entirely different style of slave cylinder. But you can see this one's starting just now making contact with the gasket down there, so it's going to seal up, and it's going to go. I can almost get another full rotation on it, so it's in full contact with the gasket. From this point on, it's in full contact with the gasket, so I can dial it in and seal it up. So I'm going to send some of these back to you and see if you guys can figure it out, because it's driving me crazy. Thanks.